Welcome to the Black Moon Lilith Rising podcast. The energy of the dark feminine is rising. Are you ready to reclaim your power? Understand the power of the dark mother of creation in astrology, Lilith. It's time for the world to recognize the power of dark feminine energy and how you can use it to heal, transform, and create the magic in your own life.
Hello and welcome. My name is Adama Sesay, and this is Lilith Astrology. Today we are going to dive into the upcoming shift of Black Moon Lilith moving into Libra, and we also have Saturn retrograde in the sign of Pisces. So I'm going to give a full horoscope on both of these important transits, and I'm also going to talk about how it's going to affect each of the 12 zodiac signs. So I haven't done horoscopes in a while. I've been so busy with the book, Black Moon Lilith Rising, and the Oracle card deck that launched in October, Black Moon Lilith Cosmic Alchemy Oracle, that I was like, I need to take a moment from horoscopes because they can be very intense. I mean, every week, every month, of course. And I love doing them. And I think that's why I'm kind of dabbling back in that space. So I wanted you all to have a little update as well on Mr. Freddie Mercury. If you've been watching my live streams in the past, you probably saw Freddie, and I couldn't get through the live stream. Look at him. This is a Griffin thing where they like climb on your chest. I've seen other Griffins do this, and I was like, oh my God, mine does this too. So Freddie's a Brussels Griffin, and he's going to be a year. On Monday, July 1st, he's a Cancer. He's actually a double Cancer and Sag Moon. So Cancer Rising, Cancer Sun, and Sagittarius Moon. And so crazy that I'm a Cancer Rising as well. And we're like almost the same degree, Cancer Rising. So like it was meant to be, wasn't it? So it was a little difficult to have Freddie on the stage. He was only 3 months the last time y'all saw him. And now he's almost a year. And he's so cute. Look at him, Mimi, Freddie. I call him Freddie Mimi. I call him Nani's. I call him Mr. Freddie. He has a lot of names. But if you are interested and you love Brussels Griffins or you love puppies, you can follow Mr. Freddie at Freddie LeGriff, and that is on Instagram and on TikTok. I have a separate account because I didn't want to like spam people with my puppy when it's an astrology channel, but just want to give you a little bit update. And Mr. Freddie is getting more trained. Yes, you think you can stay for the whole horoscope? We might have to put Freddie in his little man cave. He's got a little playpen with his blankets and his bed, and he's so nice and comfy. And so I think that's where we're going to go, because Mr. Freddie's very fidgety. So let's put him back, and then I'll come back. All right, let's get down to business. Before we tap into the horoscope, I, of course, have a couple of quick announcements. I hope you all join me on the Lilith Text Tribe. Text Lilith to 877-624-9350. And there you can learn about any special offers coming up, when my readings open. You can find out when I'm going on a book tour, or you can find out when new events are launching, new workshops. I really want to start doing some tribe member only free workshops. So there is where you can get announcements for those workshops. So don't delay, join the tribe. I also want to note, of course, carrier fees do apply while this is free for you to sign up. If your phone company or whoever you subscribe to charges for texts, you're going to receive a charge. So definitely take note of that. If you're unlimited, you're good to go. And if you are in US and Canada only at this time, and this is because of the text provider, they don't offer international texts yet. But I do also want to recommend, if you are international, you definitely want to sign up for my email list at lilithastrology.com. I also have opened my Astro Tarot readings, And these are all live on Zoom, honey. I do not do pre-recorded readings. So you're on with me and we chat about your chart. We tap into the cards. And I also have lowered my prices. And a big reason for this is because of just all of the horrific things that are happening in our country and in the world, and the just financial situation that we are all experiencing on the globe. I really wanted to make my readings more accessible. So check out those new prices, and these are all in the description box down below. And don't forget to follow on TikTok and IG. So let's tap into the transits. All right. So Black Moon Lilith is moving into Libra on June 29th. And this is the mean calculation. So I do go over this in my book, Black Moon Lilith Rising, and I discuss the difference between the mean and the true calculation of Black Moon Lilith. But when I take a look at transits, if I'm looking at mundane astrology, which means big events, collective events, political events, I look at the mean calculation because it allows us to understand the overall collective energy and archetype of Lilith and how it's playing out in that zodiac sign for that specific amount of time. So Lilith is a 9-month transit. So we're going to experience Black Moon Lilith in Libra from June 29th until March 26, 2025. So the mean calculation, just to quickly describe it, but definitely check out the book if you want to know more about the difference. But the mean calculation is the average of the oscillating apogee that is Black Moon Lilith. Black Moon Lilith is the point in the moon's orbit that is furthest away from the Earth. So the true, on the other hand, is more of a exact calculation of the lunar apogee for a specific point in time. So it oscillates more. It's still in Virgo right now. So we're in the last decan, the last 10 degrees of Black Moon Lilith in Virgo when it comes to the true calculation. So if you do have Black Moon Lilith Virgo in your chart, if you have Virgo placements, you are still going to feel Black Moon Lilith's influence, but the mean calculation will move into Libra officially on June 29th. So I actually want to give you guys a little treat and read a little excerpt from the Black Moon Lilith in Libra chapter because I'm just like, why not? You know? So this is just like the first paragraph or so. Black Moon Lilith in Libra. Black Moon Lilith in Libra brings power struggles, crisis, and difficult shadows in relationships and legal matters. Symbolized by the balance of the scales, Libra represents the dynamics in agreements, contracts, and the bond between two people. Venus, the ancient fertility goddess of Rome, is the planetary ruler of Libra. When the dark goddess is situated in the domain of the love goddess, it can cause discord in your relationships. Lots of fun, right? The solution is to have courage to shift restrictive patterns like codependency and investing in relationships that don't honor you and partners that are not in alignment with you. When you do this, you lead change against the system and against the status quo. This need to deconstruct can also be a part of the dark goddess in cardinal air sign Libra. Feeling closed off from relationships, having to do the work in one, or not experiencing love or a happy relationship at all can also be a difficult theme for Black Moon Lilith in Libra placements. So that's a little excerpt from Black Moon Lilith Rising on the placement Black Moon Lilith in Libra. Of course, this is the mean calculation that we are entering into. So this is a 9-month transit. And Black Moon Lilith, the dark goddess, the darkest reaches of our femininity that has been oppressed and suppressed, and the power struggles that can be created with masculine energy in our lives, is really coming to play in relationships. all of the facets of life that Libra rules over. So when we think about Libra, Libra is ruled by the planet Venus. Venus is the goddess of love, the material realm, money, sensuality, magnetism, also justice and equality. Not only is Venus a beauty goddess, but she also fights for justice and equality. So, on a global scale, on a collective level, as Black Moon Lilith moves into the sign, we are going to start to see more and more people rise up against the injustices of the world. We have already seen it with the North and South Node that has been in both Libra and Aries. The South Node has been in Libra. We have really seen that come to play through the genocide that's happening in Gaza. And not only that, we have the turning back of Roe v. Wade. We have just genocides and wars occurring across the world. And people are speaking out against it. But especially this summer, and as Black Moon Lilith moves into Libra, it is going to be intensified. More and more people are going to want to rebel against this system. And I watched the debate last night with Trump and Biden, and it was extremely disappointing. Of course, I'm not for Trump. I'm not for anyone that wants to restrict the rights of women's autonomy and women's health. I'm not for anyone that is a convicted felon. And I really just think that he is a pinnacle of white supremacy and white patriarchy. The fact that he can be on trial and has done so many nefarious things throughout his career and his professional life and still stand on the debate stage and still be visible to the entire United States as a viable political candidate. I think it's disgusting. And I just think that this is really going to trigger a lot of people as we head further into the fall with Black Moon Lilith in the sign of Libra. Black Moon Lilith is not just about dark feminine, dark feminine aesthetic, like black lipstick and witchy nails. Black Moon Lilith is about equality and equal rights for the feminine and everyone on the planet. And she champions for the Black sheep. She champions for the folks who are marginalized. So as she moves into the sign of Libra, she's going to influence and trigger all of us into action. So this is going to be an intense 9 months when it comes to the legal system and the justice system and our government. And really, like, we're going to see a lot more protests. We're going to see a lot more civil unrest in America. And we can also see that across the world, people really tired of seeing the injustices and the inequalities taking place. So let's tap into the charts. So on the 29th, Black Moon Lilith will enter into Libra and is also going to start to influence the South Node. So I mentioned this a little bit earlier in the broadcast about how this has really been triggering conflict and war and people rebelling against the system and rebelling against what is unequal, protesting, demonstrating, arguing, talking about it. And Black Moon Lilith is going to ramp this up even more. The South Node, we have to remember, it's more of a malefic placement because whatever is conjunct or forming a connection in the same sign as the South Node must be changed and transformed. So it can really bring a lot of unrest in the Libran qualities of life. Depending on your zodiac sign and how your chart is laid out, it really depends on you. But in general, as a collective, we are all going to experience healing, transformation, triggers around our relationships or what we think about our relationships. Some people may break up during this 9-month transit. Some people may get into a relationship that may feel more aligned and more liberating after going through that inner transformation, that one needs to be in a equal bond with someone else. There may be some changes in terms of women's reproductive rights, because we've got Libra here, which stands for the justice system. And it's ruled by Venus, which rules over women and rules over those facets of life, fertility. I must remind all of you that even though Venus rules over the zodiac sign of Libra, it is still a masculine cardinal air sign. So this transit, and this is why I'm talking about triggers and action and very masculine terms, because this is time to take action. Black Moon Lilith in Virgo is a feminine earth sign. This was more about the integration of that dark feminine wild rebellion. This was more about the practical application of that. This was also more about our day-to-day routine and our health and how we may be delaying certain things in our life by being too perfect or seeking too much perfection. So now we're going into the zodiac sign that represents justice and equality. So it's like the ways in which we are not being valued, we're going to want to rebel against those things and really strip them away. And this could be people not paying you the same as others. We can see this with the gender wage gap. We can see this with the racial wage gap as well. We can see this with all of these rules that are basically put in place now to undermine women's autonomy, bodily autonomy, women's right to choose. We can also see this with the justice system and just even I read today. So now they're even making it illegal for the unhoused to sleep outside and are criminalizing them. So there are going to be control mechanisms put in place over the next 9 months. And that is what is also going to cause people to rebel and switch over to this Aries axis, which is about action, war. This is about conflict. This is about fighting. So we are going to see the conflict level increase as Black Moon Lilith moves into Libra and really triggers the South Node. And we've got that Black Moon Lilith in opposition to Chiron in Aries, the wounded healer. So not only that, this is like people are tired of being oppressed. And I think over the next 9 months, Black Moon Lilith is really going to influence folks wanting to break outside of that oppression and inequality. Another aspect of Black Moon Lilith in Libra is the beauty aspect or your appearance. These are some of the Venusian sides of life, art, the arts and creativity. So we are going to see a lot more people taking more of a rebellious stance against those facets of life. So this could be just completely changing what the beauty standard may be over the next 9 months, or wanting to rebel against the beauty standard. So for some time, it's been about BBLs and plastic surgery, which no shame in that at all. But I think a lot of people are going to rebel against those things. It's like, why do I need to change myself to fit a standard? And the standard always also changes so much. So we may start to see more of a gender neutral, more of a androgynous look. We also may start to see people really wanting to go back to clean makeup. We're seeing that already, but I think it's going to intensify, wanting to really enhance your natural features and really acceptance of oneself. So the beauty standard can shift and change and transform. And in our own individual lives, we may be releasing just some of the ways that we have just been too down on ourselves or needing to live up to that standard. And as I said as well, relationships are about to transform for many of you. And there can be conflict in those relationships. There can be the reclamation of your sovereignty in relationships. And relationships that do stay past this period are in alignment with yourself, are in alignment with who you truly are. So, another thing I want to mention about Black Moon Lilith in Libra is if you have Libra placements, so if you have Sun, Moon, Rising, you're going to feel this Black Moon Lilith transit more than other zodiac signs. And if you have the placement Black Moon Lilith in Libra, check that out in your chart or come get a reading from me if you want to know. You are going to be experiencing your Black Moon Lilith return. So this is every 9 years approximately. And the themes around your Black Moon Lilith, check out what house it's in. You can also listen up for the horoscope that's coming up shortly. Check out what planets it's forming a connection with. But Black Moon Lilith return is when you face some of the themes around Lilith. So this can be power struggles around relationships, challenges between the masculine and feminine, balancing the masculine and feminine within yourself, balancing yourself with the outside world, any inequalities in your life that may come up, just past relationship behavior that you learned from your family may rear its ugly head during this time. Your Black Moon Lilith return is you making peace with Lilith in your life and really transmuting that shadow energy into power. So it can be a challenging time, but it also can be an extremely empowering time. And I also talk about the Black Moon Lilith return in Black Moon Lilith Rising, so you can get more information on that as well there. So now I want to dive into Saturn retrograde in Pisces. So this is also starting on the 29th and will move until November 15th. Saturn in Pisces has been an arduous transit. I mean, I'm going to be real. It's like Pisces is the end of the road. It's the last zodiac sign, and it can represent suffering, it can represent loss, but it also can represent creativity, can represent emotion and emotional receptivity. It is representative, it's a water sign, the water supply, our oceans. So a lot of this has come up, and I did do a Saturn in Pisces horoscope, which I think is on the channel. Don't quote me on that. I may have just released that with my old private members group, but check out my other videos on the channel. You may be able to see the entire horoscope for the Saturn in Pisces cycle. When Saturn in Pisces turns retrograde, we start to integrate what we've learned during this Saturn in Pisces transit. And Saturn moved into Pisces. Let's take a look at when it started. So Saturn moved into Pisces on March 7th of last year, 2023. So first off, if you have Pisces placements, this is an extremely powerful transit for you. And if you have Saturn in Pisces, so you would be going through your Saturn return right now. So you would either be between the ages of 27 and 30, or you'd be in your mid to late 50s. And it's every 29 or so years you experience your Saturn return. So these themes are going to be hyper inflated and powerful for you during Saturn retrograde. So over the last year, a lot of you may have experienced loss. You may have experienced, it depends on the area of life. We're going to go over that with the zodiac signs. You could experience financial loss. You could have experienced the loss of a place you were living or your location. You could have experienced the loss of people, significant people in your life. And some of you may have also experienced some loss internally. You may have really transformed your emotional body and may have really changed how you view emotions. And Pisces also represents things like spirituality and religion. So, on the public level, we have seen people in the spiritual space or in the astrological or tarot or esoteric space, witchy space, experiencing sort of like a reckoning. I mean, it's just been a lot of people, and you can look online. I'm not going to dive too deep into the particular people or issues that have come up, but this has been a reckoning for the spiritual space and a reminder of authenticity and making sure that you are really in your truth when you are delving into the spiritual space, especially if you are working with others and healing others. This has been a big healer wake up call. Another big part of Saturn and Pisces, like I mentioned, is our water, our oceans. I mean, it's just every day I look on the news, I look at the current events, and there is a waterway being poisoned by some corporation. They're dumping more nuclear waste and toxic waste into the ocean. Now there is marine life from the depths of the ocean that are, I think they're being boiled basically because of the temperature rising. They're now coming to the surface. And this is all a part of Saturn and Pisces. And it's like Saturn is the restrictor, Saturn is the lesson. Saturn is like the taskmaster of all the planets and wants you to get with reality and is going to put up warning signs before things deconstruct and get even worse. So now with Saturn retrograde, we are going to start to see more of an integration period. It's not like Saturn is going away, but after all of the loss and the challenges that many of you have faced since Saturn moved into Pisces, we are now going to see it subside. And now it's time to really learn from what you've experienced, learn from what you've lost, learn from those lessons. Retrogrades, when it comes to these slower moving planets, it's not like Mercury, which it can kind of be like that. But retrogrades with Saturn, it's really about integration and learning from our mistakes or learning from what challenges have come up and transforming ourselves through alchemy, through the inside out, and really taking a look at what was lost as something that was gained as well. A lesson, whether it be a lesson or if it's a new reality, we can learn from what Saturn is doling out to us. So that's going to be for some time. So not only am I going to dive into each of the zodiac signs, but we are also going to take a look at the cards as well. So I'm going to tap into the Black Moon Lilith Cosmic Alchemy Oracle card deck. And I love the Rider-Waite. It's a classic. This is a classic deck. And you can shop these in my Amazon shop. Those are down in the description box below. Yes, I have an Amazon shop now. Love it. So I'm really tapping into the Rider-Waite first. And we're going to chat about Aries. So Aries. This has been quite a year for you thus far. I mean, you all had the solar eclipse towards the end of last year that was in your zodiac sign, and if you came to my solar eclipse event, you know the tea on that. But this has been a year of transformation and personal growth for you. Tremendous transformation and personal growth. And right now, this Black Moon Lilith and Libra transit is moving into your relationships, how you relate to other people. This can be marriage, this can be a long-term love partnership, but this also can be business partnerships. And it is asking for you, or I should say, she is asking for you to rebel, for you to reclaim your sovereignty. So if you have work contracts that have kind of overstayed their welcome, of course. Oh my God. Okay. We're going to get into the cards in a moment. Let me finish my thought here. Well, if you have work contracts that have overstayed their welcome, if you have partnerships that have overstayed their welcome, or they might be limiting you as an individual, then it's time now to make a move and move forward. We've got the 8 of Cups. So it's like you're taking your cup and you're going on this journey now to really reclaim your power. For a lot of you Aries, I'm feeling this is like some contracts. This is some work partnerships and maybe people you've been working with for a while. And now you are going to experience a change. And we've got the Tower, Aries. We've got the Tower. Yes, the Tower came up. So this is giving the Saturn retrograde in Pisces transit that we're experiencing. So Saturn in Pisces has been a collective tower moment for you since March 2023. Like, it's in your 12th house. This can represent loss. This is the subconscious mind. This is hidden enemies. And I think a lot of you have come to the realization that, especially people you're working with, are not trustworthy, or they're no longer for you, or you may have really found out some things that cause tower moments. A tower moment is when you have to rip down a reality, when you have to change something suddenly, and you have to step into something new. So with the Saturn retrograde, you're really integrating that tower. You're really you've gone through that tower moment already. I think this isn't coming up for you. This is something that you've already gone through. And so now the Saturn retrograde is like temperance, which represents patience. This is learning through sitting and waiting and pondering and understanding. This is also representative of the zodiac sign Sagittarius. So we grow from the experiences we have. We learn from the experiences we have. So right now, during both Black Moon Lilith in Libra and Saturn retrograde in Pisces, it is time for you to really release what is no longer serving your individual nature and your individuality. So let's do a couple from the Black Moon Lilith Rising Alchemy Oracle. Ooh. As I said, cibation, purify, cleanse, and release. So this is the stage in alchemy where you are purifying. This is like reminding me of the Temperance card. You're purifying, you're cleansing from the Tower moment, from having to leave certain situations that were no longer in alignment, from having to leave a work collaboration that was no longer in alignment, for having to deal with challenging financial changes and ripping down that reality and restarting anew. So it's now time for you to really release and to clarify and to integrate all of the knowledge and wisdom that you've gained from these life changes. Taurus, it is time to reclaim your power in the workplace. So Black Moon Lilith in Libra is going to be affecting your daily work life, the coworkers that you have, your daily routine, the work that you do. This is also in terms of your health. This is that area of your chart as well too. And all of these things are really what make up our life, right? Like all of these little steps that we take every single day collectively equal the fabric of our lives. And I think a lot of you are realizing a work environment that you're in, the people that you work with, the way that you might be nourishing your body or eating, drinking is no longer in alignment with you. And Black Moon Lilith is coming along to bring some rebellion in that area of your life. So let's tap into the cards for that one. The nodes of the moon: release, clear, and align. So it's funny that it's not a coincidence that the South Node is in Libra in this area of your life as well too. So this is a time for you to release and clear this work environment or the way that you are navigating your daily reality so that you can really align to who you are and align to your purpose. This is a big time of release for you guys. Oh, beautiful. We have the moon. This is really all about intuition, emotional healing, and the moon literally is asking for you. Black Moon Lilith is the furthest point in the moon's orbit, and the moon is really asking for you to clear what is no longer intuitively aligned with you. I think Taurus, you deal a lot with the physical realm, right? Like that's your zodiac sign. But the moon is really what's in our subconscious and what's underneath. Another thing as well is there may be some reveals around a particular office mate or someone you work with. There may be some information revealed that shows you that you can't trust that person, that you have to release this environment and let go. So we also have the Saturn retrograde in Pisces, and that is in your 11th house. This is having to do with large groups, your peers. This is your network. This is friends, your connections. This also has to do with your hopes and dreams for the future. So a lot of you have been going through changes in your friendships and in your relationships since March 2023 when Saturn moved into Pisces. But during the Saturn retrograde, you are now going to integrate all of those changes. Like the people that you've released in your life. And I'm telling you, some of them might be from work, but you found out the truth. So now you are really making those decisions to choose yourself and to change your tribe, change who. Here we go. 10 of wands here. Change your tribe, change who you associate yourself with. And you could have learned some lessons. Another thing as well too is in going back to the workspace, you may have been taking on all the work. You may have felt overburdened, overworked, not feeling aligned, not feeling appreciated, not feeling valued. And during this transit, you're going to really want to take action to reclaim your power in that. Of course, you come up in your reading, and wow, we've got 3 major arcana, Taurus. So you come up in your reading, you're the Hierophant in the major arcana. This is representative of Taurus. So you are stepping into your soul's purpose and stepping into who you are. And we've got your opposite sign here, Scorpio. This is the Death card. So like I said, you are leaving these situations that are not aligned with who you are and don't value you. And this also speaks to, this is the Hermit. This also speaks to the change in friend group. Some of you may have been in quite a hermit period and not really socializing or feeling unsafe to socialize, but you are transforming that area of your life and you're going to really step out and be more in alignment after this Black Moon Lilith and Saturn retrograde shift. Hello, Gemini. Black Moon Lilith in Libra is coming for your creativity and self-expression. So Gemini, if you felt stagnant, if you've felt that you don't know what your next creative move will be, how you should move forward, what you should release, what you should be focused on, Black Moon Lilith in Libra is coming to clear it up for you. So when Black Moon Lilith is in this area of your life, you really want to rebel against the norm in the content that you're creating, in the art that you're doing, in those songs that you're singing, in the work that you do, in the projects that you are working on. This is not just work as well. This is creative work in the crafts that you're creating, in the business that you are starting. A lot of you are really going to want to rebel against the way you've been doing things before. And this is also the area of life that rules over things like fertility. This also can represent children. So if you have children, you can be experiencing some rebellion from your children or some changes in their lives. You may have to kind of take the reins in terms of taking care of your children. Maybe, there might be just a change in the parental supervision. You might be taking it on more. And this also deals with themes around fertility. So if you maybe are trying to have children, or this is a topic that you are not entirely clear on, Black Moon Lilith in Libra is coming to clear that up for you. And it also can bring some triggers or some wounds around it. If it's something that has been challenging for you to achieve, or if it's something that you never wanted, you may finally realize, like, okay, I can live in this way that I want to live. So let's step into the cards. I'm going to use the Rider-Waite first for this. I'm feeling that. The first card out of the deck, we have the Five of Pentacles. So this is really speaking to just feeling like you're not abundant, feeling like you're in lack, feeling like nothing is ever moving forward for me, nothing is ever progressing for me, and just feeling really down on yourself. And this might also speak to feeling down on your creations, feeling down on your projects and what you're producing, what your talent is. You might be feeling extremely down on it, or it's not making enough, or it's not enough for you to live on. And I also want to speak to Saturn retrograde in Pisces. So that is in the area of your career. So, Gemini, you are going through some limitation, some of the reality shifting, some restriction in your professional life as well. So, with the Saturn retrograde, you will start to feel that subside, and you kind of be able to integrate just some of the challenges that you face professionally. And Saturn retrograde really seeks us to want to take a look at, like, is this my life path? Is this what I want to be doing with my life? Is this aligned with me? Do I really want to be doing this long term? There also may be some power struggles with someone you work for or in your business that can just feel frustrating financially for you. Again, we have the Five of Swords. So you may also feel like you're kind of left doing a lot of the work. You're left holding the bag. You're left, you don't have support. Like, there's just been a lot of stress going on for you in the recent past, Gemini. And this is like right now you're feeling this way. Now let's tap into the Black Moon Oracle. Divine Feminine Awakening. This is the Eve card. So, as I said, Black Moon Lilith in Libra is coming along in your fifth house to activate your feminine creation power, to get out of this, to get out of just this lack and not feeling supported and not feeling like you are good enough or your creations are good enough. This is really all about activating that innate wisdom spiritually and creatively that all of us have, that the feminine has, and really tapping into that feminine power. So this is the time of awakening during Black Moon Lilith and Libra and Saturn retrograde for you, and awakening to your power. If you identify as feminine, you're awakening to your feminine power. One thing I that's also coming to mind, Gemini, is, and I recently on the podcast, my client said to me that she wants someone as a spiritualist, as a creative. She wants someone who can provide stability to her. And my response is that you have to provide that to yourself. And it doesn't mean like being in your masculine. It means that you mentally have to work on being that masculine for yourself and integrating your masculine and feminine together so that you can then be in that space to magnetize someone to you, to essentially provide that support in the physical. We are who we attract. But it's like if you're coming from a space of not feeling like you're good enough, you're going to attract people who don't think you're good enough. So this divine feminine awakening is about feeling good enough. Free yourself. Black Moon Lilith in Sagittarius. So this is a card of liberating yourself from the shackles of other people's beliefs, other people's religions, other people's dogmas. This is liberating yourself from control that really binds you. It doesn't allow for you to truly create. And this could have to do with a job. This could have to do with work. This could have to do with your life path and really liberating yourself so you can really get out of that lack energy and into your divine feminine abundance. Hello, Cancer. Black Moon Lilith in Libra is coming for your home life. And I don't mean that in an aggressive way, but Black Moon Lilith is really coming to shake up your home, your family, and your emotional world. This is a transit of rebellion. And some of you may start to do some of the deep ancestral work of healing just power struggles around the masculine and feminine in terms of your lineage. If you have dealt with themes like divorce as a child, or your parents had a fraught relationship, or there was a lot of conflict, Black Moon Lilith is coming along to bring those things to the surface so that they can be healed and cleansed. Some of you might quite literally decide to suddenly leave your home. You may need to move. You may need to change locations, change your base. And some of you may also see rebellion in your family and experience other people going through this exact experience. There may be the loss as well of a prominent maternal figure in your life. I know that it's just so challenging to go through those experiences, but this is a big time for your lineage and for your home life and your family life. And when we move over to Saturn retrograde in Pisces, this is in your 9th house of long distance travel and faraway places. So, and also has to do with spirituality as well, prophecy. So Cancer, a lot of you have been going through spiritual growth since Saturn moved into Pisces, March 2023. You've gone through loss, you've gone through changes. Maybe some of you have been learning some deep lessons through travel, through educating yourself on new spiritual practices. This has been a big time of awakening for you in terms of that. And so as Saturn turns retrograde, it's like it's time for us to take a look at the lessons over the past year. Take a look at what you have learned. And some of you may also want to really change your beliefs, change your religion or your spirituality or what you believe in for something that is more aligned with you. So this is a big transformation in your spiritual growth. So let's hop into the cards. So as I said, we've got the Mary Magdalene card, which can deal with just some challenges and tragedy with the matriarch, the divine feminine. If you're familiar with Mary Magdalene's story, they called her a prostitute. They labeled her as that. And meanwhile, there's some legends that she was Jesus's right-hand woman and maybe even his wife. So it's like she was kind of knocked off her pedestal as a divine feminine leader in that spiritual movement. And she's finding her crown, you know? So This can deal with just transformation in terms of your femininity and also coming into your light, regardless of what other people say. So we got some Saturnian cards here. So we've got the fermentation card, says patience and maturity. And we've got, of course, Saturn, age and discipline. This is the transit that we are talking about today. But a lot of you are now going to step into more spiritual growth. Like this whole Saturn transit for you has been all about integrating wisdom, learning from experiences that are challenging, really waiting until the time is right for you to make a move, for you to move forward. And harsh lessons have been doled out to you, Cancer, but now you are really it's time to integrate that. So some of you may also be wanting to learn more, maybe going on a spiritual retreat over this next year and taking that time to truly understand more about the world, understand more about your intuition, and understand more about yourself. So this is a real move forward for you. Even though we are in Saturn retrograde, you can really feel like you're moving forward with more maturity and more grace. That's all Saturn wants. That's what makes Saturn transits easier, is when you can learn the lesson and tap into that wisdom when you need it, you know? So we've got the Seven of Swords. And this can be a card of trickery. Some of you may feel like you've learned from difficult situations or you've learned who to trust. So, especially when it comes to family as well, I'm feeling that as well for you too, Cancer, especially when it comes to family and people that you thought you could trust. So, this is like being aware. And some of you may be, if something was stolen from you or something was taken from you, it may go in, let's pull another card on this. It may go in through the court of law, but you may also receive that back as Saturn turns retrograde. You may have thought you could trust someone, and especially a family member, and now that might be coming to the surface. Got the Seven of Wands. So it's like conflict, fighting. This may be some of the experience of your family life. So now this time is coming to resolve all that and empower you. And of course, I got the Two of Wands. Like I said, travel, learning through travel, expanding your horizons, learning lessons through travel. Some of you may be going on a retreat or working in a different country, or you need to travel for your work and what you do. But this is a time of releasing that conflict, really gaining what you're worth and learning more by expanding your consciousness. Hello, Leo. So, this Black Moon Lilith and Libra transit will be affecting your communication. So, it's time to tell people off, right? I mean, you have no problem doing that, you know. But this is a time where your communication and how you want to write and convey to other people is going to be revolutionized. Black Moon Lilith really seeks to liberate our voice. So, things you kind of kept to yourself, ways in which you've just allowed other people to make assumptions about you, you're now going to step into that power of F you know, I'm gonna say what I feel, even if it's rebellious, even if it rubs you the wrong way, I'm going to release my truth. This is also the area of life that has to do with things like writing, marketing. So some of you may be wanting to release a really authentic and triggering to other people writing project or media project or you may change the way that you are marketing your business or your work and how you do it. So this is a transit that is going to transform your voice and trigger you into your truth. And it can be very freeing. It can be very freeing because it can just feel, especially as a Leo, to not be able to express yourself authentically. The Lilith is coming to shake all of that up. Let's tap into her deck here. So we've got Neptune, magic and imagination and illusion. So you are really stepping into your magic during this Black Moon Lilith and Libra transit. Your magic as it pertains to your voice and how you come across to others. And I think also this is the time, now let's tap into the Saturn retrograde. So the Saturn retrograde in Pisces is in your 8th house. So of course, it's the house of magic and the occult and witchcraft. So some of you Leos might be delving into how you can tap into magic to transform your reality and bring things into your reality. Some of you may really be amping up your manifestation practice. Some of you may be dabbling in magic spells and really wanting to empower that part of your life. So this is a really witchy transit for a lot of you Leos. And it's interesting because it's like when we think of abracadabra, for instance, it essentially means like how we speak, we create. That is quite literally how this transit is going to be. And some of you Leo placements have been dealing with themes around death and rebirth as well, since Saturn moved into Pisces in March 2023. And some of you have really had to dive deep into things like your sexuality and how that relates to your manifestation and bringing things into this reality. Sex magic can be very powerful and potent for you guys. So even though Black Moon Lilith is in Libra, the Black Moon Lilith in Gemini card came out, and it literally says, liberate your truth, which is quite literally what I'm saying is going to happen during this transit. So let's read a little bit from the guidebook. Black Moon Lilith in Gemini, liberate your truth. Verbal conflict may be on its way, and this oracle card wants to help you speak your truth. When Black Moon Lilith in Gemini shows up, it's time for you to alchemize the shadow, limiting your voice. Release attachment around what others say about you. Gemini rules over the voice and communication. You could also have power struggles in your life surrounding how you communicate. So what I was saying, honey. This trauma response could come from being silenced as a child. Your voice is your superpower, and understanding this will help you activate it. So that was just an excerpt, not the entire thing. That's literally what this transit is about for you, Leo. It's time to speak up. It's time to write that article. It's time to write that book. It's time to change your marketing. It's time to change your voice, your spiritual gold, projection. So when you do all of that and you transform into your truth, you also start to project that out into the world. And that is magnetic. That is magnetism. That is your spiritual gold. It's like you're moving through this reality and you're able to magnetize everything that you need to you that boosts your gift, what you have to bring, who you are. Everything aligns to support that. So through this truth telling time, so we've got the 9 of Wands here. So it's like you've been through it. You've been through the ringer, but you're also standing up tall. Like, I've been through it. I've been through the times where I didn't have enough money. I've been through the times where I released something and someone didn't like it. I've been beaten up. I've been not feeling it, but there's breakthroughs coming. There's breakthroughs coming during the rest of this year. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. So this also aligns with projection, your spiritual goals. Wheel of Fortune is all about stepping into your dreams, your hopes, your wishes, your alignment. So you've been through the ringer. And now as you liberate your truth, like the things that you want to say, just say it. Because it might trigger some people, but that is what's going to lead you to that positive outcome, to really stepping into your higher self and stepping into your truth. So this is a time of truth for you, my lovely Leos. Hello, Virgo. So now Black Moon Lilith is making her way out of your zodiac sign. So you're going to start to feel some of the challenges that you experienced over this past 9 months start to resolve itself. So we are with the true Black Moon Lilith still in Virgo. So we're still finishing that transit up. But now with Black Moon Lilith into Libra, this is moving into the area of your money, your earned income, and how you monetize your talents. This is your material resources. So Black Moon Lilith is coming to bring rebellion and revolution to that area of your life. If you feel like you're not being paid equally as other people, if you feel like other counterparts at your work are making more than you, maybe there may be some information that's revealed in regards to that, you are going to want to speak up about it and really change and transform it. Some of you may even decide to quit your full time and want to become more of an entrepreneur and a freelancer and a contractor. And this 9-month transit is really going to want to bring that energy out in you to want to go on your own and go out on your own when it comes to how you make your money. Some of you may also, if you're in a relationship or a marriage, you might want to rebel against the status quo of what you've been doing and how you've been managing and sharing your resources. So there may be some conflict around your money and your finances when it comes to your relationships. And some of you may finally decide to reclaim your worth and your value and stop taking shit. Sorry for a lack of a better term. Stop taking shit from other people. You know, Virgo? And speaking of relationships, because Black Moon Lilith in Libra is bringing that to the forefront. Saturn in Pisces has also been in your relationship area as well since March 2023. So it's been a lot, I'm sure. You may have felt like, when is the relationship coming in? Or if you're in a relationship, there may be just some trials and tribulations in terms of balancing the scales in that relationship. And now, and some of you may have had to make hard decisions as well in terms of relationship. Maybe you've left a significant relationship or the foundation of it changed in some significant way. So now, as Saturn as well turns retrograde on the same day that Black Moon Lilith moves into Libra, you are now left with the decisions that you've made in terms of your partnerships, marriage, long-term relationship. So you're now stepping into some power here, Virgo, especially now that Black Moon Lilith is making her way out of your zodiac sign. When Black Moon Lilith leaves a sign, she really makes an impression, and there was a lot of growth there. So the first card out of the deck is Mary Magdalene, Divine Loyal Goddess. And I'm really feeling called to read from the deck. So I'm going to read some for you. Mary Magdalene is venerated in modern days as a biblical deity for her loyalty to Jesus and the deep spiritual understanding she had of his teachings. When this oracle card appears, loyalty and understanding from others is coming into your life. Listen to this. Relationships are a delicate art of balance, respect, and honesty. And you are now realizing the importance of choosing the right people in your life. You are responsible for anyone or anything that is draining you. And sometimes I've had clients say this, and I love every single one of you dearly. You all are, I love you so much. But stop saying that other people drain you. Stop saying that a relationship is draining you. Stop saying that some other person is draining you, because other people can't do anything to you. Like, you're letting them. You're letting them into your life. You're letting them do that. So I think this transit is now empowering you to get out of that. Stop doing it and kind of stop playing the victim. Sorry, not sorry. You know, that's what Saturn and Pisces is all about, is getting rid of that victimhood, stepping out of it. We need to take responsibility for our lives. We need to take responsibility for our relationships. Straight up. So we have spirit. I love this card. It's beautiful. Sublimation, spiritual magic. Super beautiful. But now I think you are going to step out of this victim mindset when it comes to relationships and other people draining you and what other people are doing, and now stepping into your magic. And your magic is in your sovereignty. Your magic is in your power and the reclamation of it. So this is during this Black Moon Lilith transit. This is during Saturn retrograde over the rest of this year and into 2025, is you're really tapping into your inner magic. And some of you might quite literally be tapping into magic, tapping into candle magic and spell work, and tapping more into your spiritual practices on a deeper level to transform yourself. And I'm loving these, actually. So we've got the Five of Wands. So this is, again, going back to the relationship conflict that I was speaking of, the conflict around your value, the conflict around your finances, and feeling like there isn't anyone there to support you. So it's like you kind of just feel like this is very much victim, where it's like, oh, everything isn't working, and I'm seeing all my cups on the ground and they're all spilled on my abundance. But meanwhile, there's two in back of you that you're not even seeing. You're not even seeing it. So it's time to elevate. It's time to rise out of that. And I'm loving these two cards. This is also, I think, giving some timing in terms of Leo season. There are some breakthroughs coming for you in terms of finances, in terms of your relationship, whether that is truly reclaiming your sovereignty and ending a difficult cycle with someone, but it's you finding the strength to tame that beast, to not give in to the conflict, to not feel like woe is me, and know that your breakthrough is coming. Know that there is going to be a significant turnaround. But it really starts with your mindset first. Okay, Virgo. Hello, Libra. Guess what? This Black Moon Lilith in Libra transit is going to be the most powerful for you. And the reason why is, you guessed it, it's in your zodiac sign. If you're a Libra ascendant, this is in your first house. If it's a moon, it's forming a connection with your moon. So get ready to embody your inner Lilith. This is bringing forth you wanting to reclaim your sovereignty in your relationships, you wanting to step into your truth in terms of your individuality. This can be in a marriage, this can be in a long-term love relationship, or if you are single, you may finally realize what you are worth and stand on business with that, like Black Moon Lilith in the first house is really all about showing up as that dark feminine goddess and someone who doesn't take shit from other people and truly knows their worth. And if you have not been receiving equality, if you've not felt valued in your relationships, your business partnerships, the contracts that you are involved in, this Lilith transit will encourage you to break away from this. And this is similar with Saturn retrograde in Pisces. This is in your sixth house of work. So a lot of you may have been going through it in the realm of work, especially since March 2023, and have just really learned a lot of lessons, experienced restriction, experienced hurdles. Some of you may have experienced delays. There may have been just some harsh lessons in your day-to-day work life, how you manage your work. And this also relates to health. So some of you Libra placements may have been dealing with some challenges with health and around your physical body. And some of you may have even changed the way you eat and changed the way you drink and what you're consuming to align with this new reality. And now this Saturn retrograde is bringing a integration period. So it's a time for you to really absorb this new health routine or absorb this new work situation or the lessons that you've learned or the people that you've realized you couldn't trust in your work life. So now the universe is really encouraging you to step into your sovereignty in relationships and also at work, Libra. And I know it can be, you're a cardinal air sign. Like you're all about taking action. You're a sign of leadership. But sometimes when it comes to reclaiming yourself, it can be a little challenging for you because you are symbolized by the scales. So you can always consider other people, but you have to also not harm yourself in the process, right? So the first card on deck is Calcination, Dark Night of the Soul. So this I feel like is really speaking to the Saturn in Pisces experience you've been having in your sixth house. So some of you may have quite literally had a dark night of the soul recently and not felt in alignment and really wanted to change certain things about your life because of this dark night of the soul. And this can be in the recent past. So calcination is really all about transforming through some pain, transforming through pressure. And some of you have really been feeling that pressure. Allow your light to shine. Black Moon Lilith in Leo. So this can relate to the workplace. I think some of you may be in a work environment that doesn't truly see your light and your talents, or they may see it and there may be some jealousy. Some of you may be dealing with just some enemies, like people that you can't trust, some lessons around trusting people in the workplace. And this Black Moon Lilith and Leo card is begging you to let your light shine and also to find environments where your light can shine, where you feel safe enough to shine. So I think you're going to be making some decisions during Saturn retrograde. Like I said, I mean, 8 of Cups. You are leaving situations that do not allow you to shine. And this is because of that dark night of the soul. You need to find a place where you can shine. I mean, you're leaving not only places, but it could be a relationship, it can be friendships, but you're leaving behind things that are no longer allowing your light to shine, allowing you to be in your truth. And we've got the Knight of Wands. So there can be some news, some change that is swiftly incoming. And some of you may have also received some truth in terms of just some of the people that you're not able to trust or that have blocked your light. This could be pertaining to work, but there is some change incoming to this situation. I want to let's get a clarifier on that. Judgment. Okay. What the situation that has been going on, the trumpet is blowing. Judgment. Okay? Like the folks that have not been, these the people that you work with, this could be the relationship. Now it's time for you to make that decision, and it's coming. This decision is coming. And judgment represents, really, it's like, this is the finale. This is the end. This is the judgment. Like, are you for me or are you not? Are you with me or are you against me? It's very like this or that. So, I mean, it's now time. I think it's time to leave situations that are not truly allowing you to shine and that you can't trust. I'm getting a lot about trust for you, Libra. So during this Black Moon Lilith and Libra period, it's now time to leave, again, the people, places, and things that you cannot trust. And be judgmental. There's nothing wrong with it sometimes. Honestly, judgmental is another word for intuition and having the discernment. So, hey, Stingers, my fave Scorpios. I'm a Scorpio, so I'm biased. Who cares? So, Scorpio, this Black Moon Lilith in Libra transit is moving into your 12th house. And the 12th house can be a mixed bag. It can be challenging because it represents things like hidden enemies, the subconscious mind, the dream state, loss, seclusion. And Black Moon Lilith has, during the Virgo transit, kind of came along and cleared out some friends, cleared out some connections. Some of you may have felt very much in your hermit period. And now Black Moon Lilith, as she moves into that real shadowy place of your chart, she's taking a look at relationships that are not real, that are a bit fake, or people who truly, they may not like you, but they like what you have to offer or what you can give. Like, they like your essence, but they're not really there for you. They're hidden enemies, you know? And this also can represent seclusion in a sense that you may want to take that time to delve into yourself even deeper. Some of you may be dealing with shadows around relationships, around the bond between two people. Some of you may be dealing around the ancestral lineage and as it relates to relationships, the type of relationship your parents had, the type of relationship that your grandparents had, the great-grandparents, the great-great-grandparents, and on and down the line. A lot of these things can come back up for you right now. They can come back in terms of dreams. They can come back in terms of people, like friends, people in your reality now that have been magnetized towards you or have been placed in your life to basically mirror these wounds around relationships back to you so you can heal yourself. So this is going to be a heavy Black Moon Lilith transit for you. Sorry, but you can handle it. You're a Scorpion. And in terms of Saturn in Pisces, that is in the area of your self-expression, your creativity. This also has to do with things like fertility, children. So since March 2023, and Saturn moved to this area of your life, some of you have been dealing with restriction, delays, challenges, may have felt like I need to rewrite what my creative projects look like. I need to rewrite what my ideas look like. I need to rewrite what the creations I'm birthing look like. Like, you may have really had a arduous time creating over this past year, but now with Saturn turning retrograde, it's now time to integrate the lessons you learned about things being so difficult. Being like that story that, oh, things are difficult, things are hard. Like, I have to work hard to get my creation in front of the right person. I have to work hard to make money from my creation, to make money from my art or my creativity. And I think a lot of you are coming to terms that it doesn't have to be so hard. And there are ways you can change your mindset to make it easier. Also, if any of you Scorpions have been dealing with fertility, some of those challenges, you may see them, some of the delays pick up, some of the delays end around that area of your life. If your children have been going through a challenging time, you may start to feel that start to resolve itself a bit more as Saturn eases off, because it's been intense when it comes to that area of your life, Scorpio. So let's get into the cards. Scorpion, time to release the perfectionism. We've got Black Moon Lilith in Virgo, and we are still we're kind of in that transit still because of the true calculation. But I said this in your astrology, that you've been clearing house when it comes to your peers and your network and who you keep around you. And this is also a time where you've been releasing that perfectionism. Like I was also saying about Saturn in your fifth, that's a big lesson in terms of your creativity, Scorpio. It's time to release that perfection, because perfection just it stunts your growth. It actually is what slows things down, and I think that that's a lesson that Saturn in Pisces is trying to tell you. I know there's some things, like even the last podcast episode I released, there was some sound stuff going on, especially on the guests end, and I was like, I'm not gonna not post this. Like, I really want to take this new direction with the podcast. Who cares if it's not perfect, because we can always tweak and make things better as the episodes go on. So I think this is really what you're going to be learning, but this is also what you've learned during the Saturn transit and the Black Moon Lilith in Virgo transit, is to release perfectionism around your creations, around your work, around who you are. No one's perfect. Even the people who you may think are perfect, there's always something below the surface. So you never want to compare yourself to other people. You never want to, because you never know. You just never know. And that kind of goes back anyway. Let's get to another card. So we have separation, division, and integration. And I'm actually feeling called to read from the deck for all of you with this card. I think that this will hold. Real and raw honesty with yourself is needed right now. When the separation oracle card comes up, you have important decisions to make. When you go through internal growth, your external must also shift. Okay. The separation phase in alchemy is like finding the courage to let go of a draining contract, finally taking the step to a project, or stopping harmful habits. Real and raw honesty with yourself is needed right now. Okay. When the separation oracle card comes up, you have important decisions to make. When you go through internal growth, your external must also shift. The separation phase in alchemy is like finding the courage to let go of a draining contract, finally taking the next step in a project, or stopping harmful habits. Virgo, Black Moon Lilith and Virgo is also about habits, habitually being down on yourself and criticizing yourself. This is accepting a new love into your life that may not be your typical type, but it's for your highest good. You've gained clarity, and now is the time to choose yourself first, cutting ties of discord. Those who are meant to come along for the ride will accept this new version of yourself you are stepping into. It's not the entire read, but just wanted to read a little excerpt because I think it will resonate with your situation. You know what? I want to switch to, let's switch to the Rider-Waite. Mm-hmm. Yes. So we've got the Ace of Swords, Scorpio. Okay. So incoming. There's some news incoming. There's an offer incoming, and it's swift. This is like air, this is swift. And a King of Pentacles, this could be a masculine, like a boss and CEO. Oh my God, I love that TikToker, Manny, boss and CEO. Okay. Could be coming for you. If you don't know, you don't. If you know, you know, I should say. Something's incoming for you in relation to your creativity, your work, your creations, your talents that you monetize, because you've gone through this period of really separating yourself from people, places, and things that are delaying your progress. This could be the way that you're eating. This could be the way that you're consuming things. This can also be if you're down on yourself, or you think everything has to be perfect before it's released into the public, you're delaying yourself. So because you're integrating that now during Saturn retrograde, okay, some breakthroughs are coming. So excited for you, Scorp. So excited. Hello, Sag. Black Moon Lilith in Libra is coming for your friendships, your network, who you associate yourself with. And I think some of you have had enough when it comes to certain connections that you have. I think that when you come into yourself, like you just experienced Black Moon Lilith in your career, you come into a true rebellion when it comes to your life path and who you are and how you show up. You then attract different types of people, or you fall out with certain people because you realize you've grown and you don't have anything in common anymore. So I think this 9-month period is a time where you are going to let go of friendships that don't serve you, and you're going to attract in the ones that do. You're going to attract in like-minded, wild women, or like-minded masculine men who understand the dark feminine and understand who you are and what you are about and what you have to give to other people in connections. And then also, I think some of you may kind of think outside of the box if you're involved in communities, humanitarianism. Some of you may really want to help female causes, or help children, or help end wars, like helping to be more philanthropic, I think may really be a theme for you during this Black Moon Lilith in Libra transit. But you are also really changing your perspective on who is for you, what type of friends that you want in your life. Is the relationship equal? Am I just like attracting people who don't truly see me or truly value me? So these are all questions that are going to come up over the next 9 months, and you may experience a clearing of some of the friendships in your life and the people you associate yourself with and the groups that you belong to. And in terms of the Saturn retrograde in Pisces, so this is in the area of your home and your emotional world and family and the mother and the father. So depending on your chart in terms of that. When it's turning retrograde, it's now integrating the changes that you've made in that area of life. There may have been a big change in terms of your family, in terms of your parental dynamic. There may have been since March of last year and now, there may have been some loss in that area of your life, and just changes to the structure of your family. So now with this retrograde period, you have to move forward and rewrite what family looks like for you. This can be a big emotional healing time for you as well too. And some of you may have quite literally dealt with water in your home, like flooding, water damage. It may have just felt really stressful. So now with Saturn turning retrograde, you're going to see some resolution. You're going to feel some resolve to all of that. I love this card. So cute. Exaltation, master manifester. So, I mean, they are happy, they are dancing. Like, this is happiness. And what I'm feeling for you, Sagittarius, is you're coming out of what felt like a dark period, and you don't know, like, am I going to see the light again? And the light's slowly going to glimmer. And this card also is reminding you that you are in charge of your life, not the things that are happening to you and surrounding you. And this also can represent you finding your tribe that truly makes you happy and resonates with you. So we have Black Moon Lilith and Leo, allow your light to shine. So this is very much black sheep energy. Like, this is someone who does stand out naturally and is the star of the show naturally, but there may have been just some cloudiness with it, or feeling some shame around shining and showing your light. And you're stepping out of that. We've got Black Moon Lilith and Capricorn, elevated status. So I think after this challenging period that you've had with Saturn direct and this whole Saturn and Pisces transit, you are stepping up. You are stepping up. And I'm actually feeling the vibe to read from the deck. Imposter syndrome is creeping in, and you are doubting your accomplishments. Come on, Sag. The cosmos wants you to let go of insecurities and have faith in yourself. When this card shows up, the opportunity to level up and gain recognition is well on its way. Don't let fear self sabotage what's to come. Break the glass ceiling and shift the structures that are holding you down. Okay? And I'm actually feeling, let's pull a couple more. The Rider Waite. I love this. I mean, you've been putting in the work practically, Sagittarius. And I think also this time, this Saturn retrograde time, most specifically, you are really going to be thinking about, how can I rebuild after these changes? I think you're really thinking about, how can I come back from the clearing and the shifting and the changes? And you really want to build up your currency. You want to build yourself up after what feels like your foundation was completely changed and transformed this past year. And we've got the Ace of Cups. So, an offer, okay? After a breakthrough. And this is just like, after just feeling like you're constantly at work, you're constantly building. So I really think also this will be towards the end of the Saturn retrograde cycle. Like, this is going to feel like a period of work, but there is going to be some emotional relief. There's going to be some optimism, and there's going to be a breakthrough and an offer in whatever it is that you're trying to build. Whether it's your home, you're going to have some resolution on some of those things. You may choose to rebuild or deal with the flooding, or you may have some resolution to the emotional loss that you've experienced during Saturn in Pisces. Hey, Capricorn. Black Moon Lilith in Libra will influence your career, your life path, and your professional life during her transit through that area of your life. And this is like a complete rebellion against what you have been doing. Some of you may quite literally quit your 9 to 5 and go freelance and just really rebel against the corporate structure that you thought that you needed. And of course, this is over the next 9 months. Some of you Capricorns may experience just some demonization in terms of the public. If you're in the public eye, thank you for watching if you are a celeb, but you may experience just some scandal or just feeling like you are being demonized for something. You're demonized for your looks or your appearance. There also could be some of that going on in your work life if you have a 9 to 5, or even if you are in the public eye, you're on the internet, or you are an influencer, you may be feeling like you're getting demonized for something. And I don't know if it's quite literally a canceling, but you may just experience some power struggles when it comes to the public and how people perceive you in your professional life. So that can happen, but a lot of you can really want to rebel against the structures that you've set up and the stability that you are experiencing or have experienced from your professional life. Like Capricorns are the one, there's a couple other zodiac signs, but Capricorns really need like a stable work environment. Like they love stability. They want to make sure they're climbing to success. They want to make sure that they're receiving their coin. Like that's what they want. And I think though that Black Moon Lilith is changing that mindset for a lot of you. So this is rebellion against work. And when it comes to Saturn retrograde in Pisces, Saturn is actually your planetary ruler. So I also believe as an astrologer that a retrograde, like a planetary ruler retrograde, affects you the most as well. It's affecting Pisces deeply, of course, but Saturn in Pisces, especially when it turns retrograde, is affecting you the most as well too. And this is in your third house of communication. This can represent areas of life like marketing. This is siblings. This is cousins. This is like short distance travel. So some of you may have experienced some loss in those areas of your life, maybe siblings or a cousin, or that those people could be going through some challenges in their life, maybe even around substances. Some of you may be experiencing just a slowdown in, if you work in marketing or you work in communications or you work in writing, you may have been experiencing just some rocky times with that. And now with Saturn turning retrograde, that I'm not saying it's going away, but you are integrating some of the lessons and making some moves forward. So it's like, are you speaking your truth? And if you're not, it might not have gone very well over the past year that Saturn has been in Pisces. So that can also lead to you wanting to change your work and change what you do so that you can speak freely and be in that embodied state. And also, this represents local travel. So some of you may have dealt with some challenges. Some of you may have dealt with just difficult things happening when you're trying to get from place to place. There may be flooding where you live. Maybe some of you may have experienced an accident of some sort, or your cousin or sibling may have experienced one as well. But this Saturn retrograde is also going to start to slow down some of those challenging events. So I'm feeling like I want to get into the Black Moon Lilith Alchemy Oracle. Ooh, that came out fast. Putrefaction, shadow release. So as I was saying, it's like you're really like learning from some of these challenges that have come up for you, and you're releasing that need to keep your truth to yourself. How you view the world is how you view yourself. When the putrefaction oracle card shows up, it's time to face the difficult shadows within you and become conscious to what you are projecting into the world. Psychoanalyst Carl Jung described the shadow as our untamed true nature that we hide from the world to feel safe and accepted in our environment. The authentic side of ourselves is hidden by a mask to protect itself when we experience trauma or challenges. This card calls for you to do inner work around how you perpetuate suffering in your own reality. No need to even elaborate, Cap. This is so Saturn in Pisces retrograde. It's like time to release the shadow, you know? And it's time for everyone to see it. As I was saying about the public seeing your truth and you having to navigate that. Divine feminine awakening. We got the Eve card. So this is like biting from the apple and receiving the knowledge and wisdom of the ages. Like, this is what happened to Eve. Truly, it wasn't just like, oh, women are responsible for the fall of men. Like, no, this is allegory for the demonization of the feminine's relationship with the spiritual and how the feminine is a portal. And this also represents us being a portal for wisdom. So I think a lot of you are getting rid of that shadow that denied your truth, that denied what you truly think, that denied your beliefs. Pisces also represents our beliefs, our spirituality. And now you are stepping into that. And I feel like I'm talking to a goddess here as well. This may only apply to some of the Capricorns watching, but I feel like I'm talking to a goddess. So, or you're literally turning into it. You shed that shadow and now you've bitten the apple and you are turning into your dark feminine goddess is in your 10th house of career and public and how the public views you. So now people at your work, people in the public, if you do something public facing, are going to see you for that divine feminine goddess. And also this can represent some breakthroughs financially, maybe even some love as well, or some improvements in love. And I'm going to pull a few cards from the Rider-Waite Tarot. Wow. So we've got a lot have been coming out like clumps at a time for me. It's actually like saves time, but it's like spirit's just like up. So we've got the 10 of Pentacles. So this is a time of it's just a time of breakthroughs for you. I think this Saturn retrograde and Black Moon Lilith in Libra is going to liberate you from that lack and feeling that shadow. And we've got the Lovers in reverse and the 10 of Swords as well in reverse. So this also can represent moving from heartbreak and really stepping into self-empowerment. We've got the Devil in reverse, and it's releasing those habits and those behaviors and those people and that relationship that is just not in alignment with you, that is not serving you. And it actually has blocked the coin. But now that is getting out of the way, you've done the shadow release. Now this is coming in for you. So I think that this Saturn retrograde for you Capricorns out there is going to feel like a step forward. It's going to feel like more of a step forward than the delays you've been experiencing in the past. Hello, Aquarius. Black Moon Lilith in Libra is going to influence your travel. So this is the area of life that rules over not only travel, but spiritual knowledge. This represents higher knowledge, university, college, PhD, doctorate. This also represents just the higher levels of intuition. This is like prophecy. This is also beliefs as well. So Aquarius, you're going through an awakening. Honestly, you're going through an awakening. It's going to feel like an electric shock to the system. And I'm sure you felt that since Pluto in Aquarius began. And we're dipping back into Pluto and Capricorn this fall, but this year, like, it's felt like an electric shock, right? Like a lot of things have ramped up or changed or transformed in your life. And now with Black Moon Lilith moving into that area of your life, get ready for your complete belief of the world to change. I think a lot of you have had rebellious beliefs under the surface, but now Black Moon Lilith in Libra is coming to awaken them. So maybe ideas or thoughts or religious beliefs that your family's held or that you've held in the past now is going to change and transform during this Black Moon Lilith in Libra transit. And some of you may also want to do some cool traveling, and also learn from something. It's important also to be careful of while you're traveling and making sure that you're staying safe. Black Moon Lilith in that area of your life can give some sudden events. Maybe even refrain from no, I don't want to say refrain from. You shouldn't refrain from anything that you really want to do. But if you say you're single and you meet someone on a trip and they're, charming and all of that, just use discernment. Just use discernment with that. And that popped into my head. That was an intuitive download for somebody out there. But some of you could really learn something new. Like you could go on a cacao retreat or go on a yoga retreat or a plant medicine retreat. And that completely transforms what you think. Some of you, if you are a writer or you're an author as well, you could be releasing something that's more rebellious, maybe an ebook, or you're getting published. And some of you could have your ideas more in the public eye and you can feel really demonized for them. But remember, all press is good press, even the bad press. So even if people don't like what you're doing, there's going to be people that do. So that's the way to kind of navigate this period. But you are really revolutionizing your knowledge. You're really wanting to rebel against society's views and the views of your lineage and the views of people you grew up with and really change and transform. And this could even include moving to a exotic different location as well too. So with Saturn in Pisces retrograde, specifically for you Aquarius, this is in the area of your money. This is finances. And you may have felt a bit restricted in the area of your finances and feel like it's like an uphill battle. And every time you kind of take 2 steps forward financially, it's like something sets you back. So with Saturn retrograde, there's going to be some relief to all of this financial lessons and challenges and difficulty that you have been experiencing. And this also is representative of our self-worth and our value. So with Saturn here, you've been learning lessons around that since March 2023. So now with Saturn retrograde, you are integrating those lessons. A lot of the shit has gone down. And so now you're like, I'm stronger because of it. I can say no to this. I can say I'm going to do that. And I'm going to make that decision financially. So, and also our value is connected to our self-worth. So I know it's annoying to hear this, but if you believe that you are not worthy, it's not gonna be given to you by the universe. Confirmation from Freddie. So you have to believe you're worthy for the universe to believe you're worthy and for it to manifest in reality as money. Okay? So you're learning lessons around that during Saturn in Pisces, but Saturn retrograde, now it's time to integrate them. So you may start doing more positive affirmations, changing your mindset, choosing to be joyful, choosing higher vibration instead of feeling down on yourself financially. So let's get into some of the cards. Aquarius. Aquarius. Yes, you're on deck with the Pluto transit. You're on deck with that. And it's very rare to have Pluto in your sign as well while you're alive. I was born with Pluto in my sun sign, or on my sun, excuse me, on my sun sign. I'm a Pluto in Scorpio and a Scorpio sun. So now also moving forward in the next 20 years, all Aquarius will have sun conjunct Pluto as well. And they're going to square us. So like we may not get along too well, but but yeah, this is a very rare time in history. So astrologically, I mean, every time in history is rare. Everything is so unique, you know? The nodes of the moon: release, clear, and align. So I'm feeling called to read out of the guidebook for this card for you. Prepare yourself. Life changes are coming. When the nodes of the moon card appears, direction and shifts are headed your way. You are releasing limiting habits, old behaviors, and situations that have blocked your progress. Talents, ideas, and new opportunities will soon emerge, creating pleasure in your life. While change can bring discomfort, it's important to surrender. You are moving towards a more fulfilling direction that will light up your soul, connecting you with Source. It's time for you to awaken the truth of who you are and align with your higher self. And my nose was itching, so it's a bit of a confirmation. But you are aligning with yourself. You're expanding your knowledge. You're expanding your beliefs. Okay, I'm feeling the rider weight, so let's tap in. We have the Hierophant. This is what I'm saying about the beliefs. The Hierophant is this spiritual guru. It's a priest. It also represents Taurus. So this is like wealth as well too. And being able to sit, project your beliefs, be that guru, and receive support from the universe financially because of it. And I think you're also stepping into the wise sage energy and stop chasing after things and really allow for people to want your knowledge and to invite you to speak and to do things that are more in that higher level that you know that you are. So this is just like, I think this year it's just like a time of level up, but through radically making changes that may not be comfortable. Oh my God. I mean, you can see this changes that are not comfortable, the tower. So the people are falling out, it's tower's falling. And basically this card it relates to a change that you cannot control, but you must pick up the pieces from it. You must really like pick up the pieces from it. And some of you may have also been taking that time to do that. Some of you have finally realized that meditating, resting, thinking, being, not chasing after, being is going to bring in the partnerships that are going to serve you, the other people that are going to really help you. And I think some of you may have something coming in like a partnership or an offer. This also could be a relationship. And I think yes, it was for you. Sometimes when I'm going, and I'm like, I don't remember what I said. But the relationship, whoever like could be traveling and may meet somebody who they think is great. This is also who they think is great. I'm not saying that they're not great, this vacation boo, but that may also be a theme for the folks that resonates with. So it's anxiety. Okay, we've got the 9 of Swords. So a lot of you may have been sleeping up all night. This may relate to the money stuff, like feeling anxiety, not being able to sleep. And it's like you're thinking like, "Oh, when is it things going to come in for me? Like all I have is this." And it's like little do you know what's waiting in the wings for you. And this could involve travel as well, like I was saying with Black Moon Lilith in the ninth. And also carving your own path. And this could be an offer that you leave a current work situation or financial situation and you receive an opportunity. Let's pull a couple from the Black Moon Lilith Cosmic Alchemy Oracle. Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio, sexual alchemy. Ooh, love this card. This card's beautiful. So a lot of you could be stepping into more of that sexual dark goddess energy as well too. And this could be in relation to that relationship, okay, that I was talking about abroad, the vacation boo for some of you. So in astrology, on the opposite end of the axis from self-worth is inner transformation and alchemy. And Scorpio is that. Taurus is self-worth, but then it's also second house, eighth house. And the second house is where you're experiencing that Saturn and Pisces transit. So a lot of you could be maybe increasing your self-worth through sex. Also increasing your self-worth increases your sexual power because you believe you're worth it, you're worthy, and it fulfills that opposite end of the axis in order for that sexuality to thrive. So a lot of you coming into your sex goddess self. So Pisces, I'm going to talk about Saturn and Pisces for you because I feel like it's urgent. Like I feel like I really need to talk about it because this has been since March 2023 and this is like such a serious transit for you all. Like Saturn, it's about restriction. It's about lessons and discipline, and it can feel very dry to such a moist water sign like you. Like you're the wateriest of the water signs, in my opinion. You're representative of the ocean. And this has been a challenging time. It's quite literally been a challenging time for the actual ocean as well, too, if you really think about it, with all of the toxic waste and the dumping and the poisoning and the temperatures increasing and the fish trying to save themselves and end up beaching. It's, yeah. And we can even look at that in terms of your life. So you may be feeling like you're one of those sea creatures that's just like kind of burning up in the ocean and you have to save yourself. I hate to get so like negative. I'm not trying to be negative, but sometimes you can be negative, you know. Pisces, like I'm a Scorpio. I can be quite negative. That's why we get along. You know, we're both water signs. So this Saturn transit has really encouraged you to dig deep, delve deep down into your emotions and really extract yourself, really become yourself, like really become who you are. That's what Saturn wants you to do. Saturn wants you to become exactly who you are. And sometimes at Pisces, you're the rulers of illusion. You can want to make others around you feel comfortable. So you try to shrink or transform who you truly are. Like, what's that song? Is somebody going to match my freak? Is somebody going to match my freak? Okay. So that's what this Saturn retrograde is about for you, is now integrating all of those changes and the difficulties that you've experienced over this last year. And this is in your first house of self. So it's time to let go of what other people think of you, to let go of the restriction that you bring on yourself because of others, and also saying no and having boundaries. Saturn's teaching you boundaries through you're going to suffer if you don't have boundaries with people as well. This is a whole read for you, Pisces. And so, in terms of Black Moon Lilith in Libra, that is moving into your 8th house. And this deals with things like sex, death, rebirth, transformation, change. And this also represents relationships as well. So, Pisces, some of you can go through a death and rebirth in terms of your relationships, how you view relationships, how you view how you receive in your life, and really trigger you to rebel against how you have not received in your life. And this also represents, witchcraft and the occult. So some of you may dabble in that during this transit or really want to learn more about it. But this is a big period of death and rebirth for you, Pisces. This is a 9-month period. And the way that you're going to do it is through knowing yourself. And of course, look who shows up. Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio, sexual alchemy. And I want to read from this. Okay? I want to read. And this is card number 8. So 8 may be significant to you, but it's representative of death and rebirth. Sexual alchemy, Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio. The oracle is calling for you to transform and heal your deepest shadow. Dark energy from your childhood or ancestral traumas can project into your reality, holding you back from your true, authentic self. It can feel like an arduous process, like a dark night of the soul, but on the other end of this journey is self-empowerment. Like I was saying, death and rebirth. Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio is both challenging and rewarding when integrated. Symbolized by the scorpion, Scorpio is a fixed water sign, which represents the depth of emotion. Secrets, crisis, the occult, and sexual power all live under Scorpio. Mars, the god of war, and Pluto, the lord of the underworld, both rule over Scorpio. While you may not see this intensity at first glance, it bubbles fiercely under the surface. Okay. I'm going to switch to the rider weight. Okay. I mean, death and rebirth. This 9-month period for you. Like I was saying, this has been an arduous process for you. Like you're feeling like you have to fight every step of the way. This is 7 of Wands. And like another part of Scorpio is ruled by Mars. Mars fights. Okay. And so you feel like you've been fighting, especially during this Saturn in Pisces transit. But we got the Wheel of Fortune. I love this card for you because it can feel like when's that light at the end of the tunnel coming? But we've got to go through the alchemy first. And we've got to dig deep down into ourselves and really transmute that shadow so that we can turn it into something beautiful, like an opportunity or an idea, or even some money. Ain't nothing wrong with money. Because on the opposite end of self-worth and money is sex and how we feel about ourselves. So this is you now, before this comes in, the Hanged Man. So it's like taking that time out, taking that moment. You might feel like things are stuck, things are stagnant, things are not moving, but sit tight. I want to pull one more on this. Sit tight because things are. Like the hangman just sit like hangs, you know? He's like, let me just hang out. I don't really know what to do, but the universe knows what to do, you know? And like I said, incoming. It's incoming. It's swiftly incoming, this opportunity. So just hang tight and focus on your alchemy within. Focus on your internal being, because then that's what reflects on the outside. So this is a time of hanging out right now after dealing with a lot of shit over the past year since Saturn moved into Pisces. All right, so that is Black Moon Lilith in Libra and Saturn in Pisces retrograde. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so glad to be back on and doing horoscopes again. We'll see what important event that's coming up that I want to do. You know, we'll see. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.